Probably can't hear us yet. I don't think it starts until 3:30 on here.
Okay.
Their link.
What time is it now?
3:22.
Oh, okay. One, two. Ian Michaud of Milford, Jeff Kazakowski of Kearsarge, Jan Bardos, Patrick Fitzgerald, Sean Swist, John Lindenen of Merrimack Valley, Jack Young of Portsmouth, Ryan Cleary, Craig Telfer, Alexis Reyna, Ben DeForest. What the hell's that?
Sutton.
Sutton. Carter, Tyler Aspinwall, Rob Becker, Haley Senga, Jenna Athenas,
you think it should work? Because we need to start.
Yeah. And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back here to Leverone Fieldhouse here at Dartmouth College. It's the site of the NHIAA Division II Indoor Track and Field Championships. I want to welcome you along and welcome Ben Sackett to the broadcast as well. And we finished up with the Division I portion of the tournament earlier this afternoon, and we now go on to Division II, which in actuality encompasses a lot of Division II and Division III schools. We are underway with our first event. It is the girls 4x800 meter relay, as the participants Co-Brown, Hollis, Brookline, Portsmouth, Milford, Sauhegan, St. Thomas, Kennett, and Oyster River. And Hollis Brookline, the defending champions in this category in the 4x800 meter relay. And watch for them to do good things here this afternoon. Co-Brown came in with the best qualifying time at 10:03 and 0.3 of a second. And the Division II record is Milford with a time of 9:50.36. That was back in 2010.
Well, coming into the first handoff, it looks like Portsmouth has the lead. Hollis Brookline in second, followed by Sauhegan, and I believe that is Co-Brown in fourth.
So Co-Brown, who had the best qualifying time, trailing in the pack with a lot of time to go here in the 4x800 meter relay. And it's Portsmouth in the lead. Hollis Brookline has the best qualifying time in the second spot. And Sauhegan, who qualified with 10:18 and 20 tenths of a second. And Hollis Brookline again the defending champs. Emma Newton as a sophomore for Hollis Brookline, a big part of that illustrious team, and she is
and she hasn't slowed a step.
They really kept up the pace, and again, how important is it to get a good handoff? We've seen that in the Division I track meet.
We saw some teams go down with some bad handoffs.
Absolutely.
And they were very close meets. I think the girls ended up, Bishop Garrett won by 1 point.
And that's the difference between winning a state title and not. A lot of times, these practices so beyond that. Last year, we mentioned Emma Newton as a sophomore, had a great year last year. Megan Philpott is an outstanding runner, and see that final handoff. See Emma Newton from the side. With a 10:01.64, and Co Brown just behind at 10:03.33. And Souhegan in that number 4 spot. So Hollis Brookline, the winners in the girls 4x800 meter relay. Here at the New Hampshire State Championships here at Dartmouth Fieldhouse here at Dartmouth College. I want to thank their hospitality here today. 5.
After the first lap, Sauhegan in first place, Milford in second, Hopkinton in third.
And we'll keep an eye on those three as they round the first lap here. Sauhegan that deep quad. I would say that's exactly what you want in your.
And he's picking up speed.
It's as if Hopkinton has jumped into the second spot now, and Milford in third. But Sauhegan still in that top spot. Boy, it feels nice when you're that second person on that leg and you've got a lead quick. Also involved in the 55-meter dash and also the hurdles. We'll see him a little bit later on as well. And so Sauhegan still with that lead. Love that name for the team, the Sabres of Sauhegan. That is a terrific name for a school, and
they're starting to pull away.
And boy, we're seeing why they had that 30-second differential in the qualifying times. This is a very deep team. Big race for that second and third spot is Hopkinton and Milford still battling it out for number 2. And Cole Brown in the mix as well. Again, you see the front runner, Sauhegan, in this 4x800 meter relay. The state record was set by Merrimack at 8:01.45, that back in 2008. And the way Sauhegan is going right now, I'd say they have a decent shot to try to break that.
Cole Brown did come out of the pack, taking over second place now. Quite a considerable gap between the first and second place runners and the second and third place runners.
You're right, Cole Brown has made a good run of it here on that last leg, and the lead for Sauhegan not quite as big as it was, but still fairly substantial. And there's Cole Brown in second, Hopkinton in third. Cole Brown, Northwood Academy in Division II. And boy, as I said, around this last turn and how the lead had kind of narrowed a little bit, now Sauhegan again pouring it on. And Cole Brown falling a little bit behind. As now Hopkinton has jumped into that number 2 spot.
And Cole Brown takes number 2 back.
Boy, fun to see, even when you have a race like this, that you have a front runner that is so far ahead, and again, the prohibitive favorite, but it is nice to see the battle for those next couple of spots, number 2, 3, and 4. Again,
I believe it's Merrimack Valley now.
So Merrimack Valley is now in second. Merrimack Valley also in Division II. Again, we mentioned that it is Division II and Division III, a combination of the schools. They call it the Division II Indoor Track and Field Championship. And Merrimack Valley doing a nice job getting into that second spot. So I believe it's Co Brown and Hopkinton in that third spot right now. This is the boys 4x800 meter relay. And look at the long strides of the Souhegan runner there. My apologies, that's the Milford runner, as Souhegan right behind him. But again, what a lead here for Souhegan. And the Sabres really pouring it on at this point. Co Brown has got the Division II record of 8:21.74. Souhegan looking to make it 2 straight Division II state titles in the 3rd in 4 years. The pace has come off the runner here for Souhegan a little bit here as they enter the final stretch. And the Souhegan Sabres will win the boys 4x800 meter relay. And their time is 8:28.70. So off their time they qualify, Merrimack Valley coming into the second behind 31.55.
This thing's bad.
Yeah. And we're back now with the boys' 55-meter hurdles, and one of the ones to watch here today will be in the second leg, but this is the first of two prelims, as Ian Michaud, Jeff Kozakowski, Jan Bartos, Patrick Fitzgerald, Sean Swist, John Lindenden, and Jack Young. And coming out on top was Patrick Fitzgerald. And Patrick Fitzgerald out of Wyndham, the senior, with a time of 8.07. And coming in number two, it was Sean Swist, and Swist out of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and an 8.85, so a nice run by Patrick Fitzgerald to win it. And you've got number three is Ian Michaud with a time of 8.54. And in this 8 advance, the top one in each heat, plus the 6 next best times. And in heat number 2, this is a chance for us to see Ben DeForest. And Ben DeForest won the 55-meter hurdle last Sunday at the University of New Hampshire. And he is the guy to watch, and he is in lane 4 for Sauhegan. Lane 1 is Ryan Cleary out of Wyndham, Craig Telfer in lane 2 from Lebanon, Lexus Rain out of Portsmouth in lane 3, Ben DeForest in lane 4, Sutton Bradbury Coster in lane 5 out of Pelham, Gabe Carter out of Kearsarge in 6, and Tyler Aspinwall in lane 7. And here's the second prelim.
That was fast.
And a impressive run again for Ben DeForest out of Sauhegan. And coming in with a time of 7.80.
It's going to be an impressive final with him and Fitzgerald.
And you've got Bradbury Coster at number 2, 8.29. Telfer in at number 3, 8.39. And number 4 from Portsmouth is Lexus Reina with a time of 8.48. Again, advanced top one each, and that includes Patrick Fitzgerald and, as you mentioned, Ben DeForest. And we're back now getting set for the first of two prelims in the girls' 55-meter hurdles. Again, lane 2, Veronica Becker out of Portsmouth, Haley Zanga. Lane number 3, Jenna Athanasopoulos of Monadnock in lane number 4, Mandy Lathrop in lane 5 out of Oyster River, Astrid Johnson out of Sauhegan, and Laura Olivier out of Oyster River. And Athanasopoulos with the top time in the qualifier, 8.60. And Mandy Lathrop with the second best time from Oyster River at 9.0. Second prelim coming up. Again, we'll keep our eyes on Kelly Ledoux and also Jenna's twin sister, Michaela Athanasopoulos. And both those runners, terrific runners for Monadnock. Jenna was the reigning silver medalist last year with a time of 8.61 in the 55-meter hurdles. And Kelly Ledoux of Lebanon was the reigning gold medalist at 8.55. So getting set to go here in the girls' 55-meter hurdles. And Jenna Athanasopoulos comes in the top spot with a time of 9.0. A little bit behind her qualifying time, but good enough for the lead here in this first of two prelims. Mandy Lathrop out of Oyster River at 9.33. Out of Sauhegan, Astrid Johnson at 9.65. 8 advanced, the top one in each heat, plus the next 6 best times. And heat number 2 coming up. In lane number 2 will be Ashley Kipley of Ports Christian. Kelly Ledoux in lane number 3 out of Lebanon. Michaela Athanasopoulos out of Monadnock in lane number 4. Melanie Subaya out of Hanover, and Claudia Waddingham out of Portsmouth, and Hannah Igo out of Oyster River in lane 7.
Had some technical difficulties there with our audio. Had to restart.
We're glad to join you here from the Leverone Fieldhouse here at Dartmouth College. And the Division II portion of the program. We had the Division I state championships earlier today. And they are off in prelim number 2 of the girls' 55-meter hurdles. And again, expecting a good run here from Kelly Ledoux, but it is Michaela Athanasopoulos with the top spot. And Ledoux coming in at number 3, but Athanasopoulos on both sides, the twin sisters, the best times here in the prelims, 9.11. And it was Melanie Subaya from Hanover at 9.38. And you have Kelly Ledoux from Lebanon at 9.55. So again, the top in each prelim will advance, the two twin sisters, and then the next 6 best times. So
see who can bring home the bragging rights.
And that should be a good matchup, again, with the two sisters going at it. Getting set now for the boys' 55-meter dash coming up. And the top 8 advance, the top one in each heat, plus the next 6 best times. And the boys' 55-meter dash, Ethan Druskat, the 2012 champ, also holds the Division II record at 6.49, which he was able to accomplish last year. And Dominic Worsley, the state record at 6.38, set that back in 2004. And Justin Prindle, one of those athletes to watch from Campbell, had a qualifying time of 6.70. And Justin Prindle also adept in the 300-meter dash, which he placed second at the event out at the University of New Hampshire last Sunday. So we'll get ready for the 55-meter dash coming up. And we'll take a break and be back here at Leverone Fieldhouse. This is the NHIAA Division II Indoor Track and Field Championships. Andrew Alicia out of Merrimack Valley with the best qualifying time in the amongst the people here in the second prelim at 6.60, which is better than any of the times that we got in the first prelim. So we'll see if the athletes here in the second can keep up that type of pace. And the top spot goes to Merrimack's
Alisea.
Andrew Alisea. And 6.75 is his time. And you've got Tanner Kent out of Sauhegan at 6.89. And out of Oyster River, Jan Bardos, 6.95. So an impressive run again for Merrimack Valley's Andrew Alisea.
It was a very fast heat.
Sure was.
All but one under 7 seconds. I'm not as familiar with the 55-meter dash. I did outdoor track in high school, but this is equally exciting for me. I think this would have been a great winter sport. Especially these bigger schools in Southern New Hampshire, they have the option of doing indoor track. Me going to school in Vermont, there's a few schools that have indoor track.
9:42, the Division II state record set back in 2008 by Georgia Griffin. That was a time of 10 minutes, 0.89 seconds. And the state record just a little bit better than that by Amy Rustin back in 1999 at a time of 9:59.34. We'll take a break and be back. We're here at Leverone Fieldhouse. It's the NHIAA Division II Indoor Track and Field Championships. We'll be back right after this. And we are back underway, the girls 3,000 meter run. And one of the prohibitive favorites has got to be Courtney Hawkins out of Milford with a qualifying time of 10:22.5. Got Elizabeth Danis out there, a freshman from Co-Brown, another freshman from Co-Brown, Brooke Leskowski, with a pretty good qualifying time herself of 11:05.6. Kate Farrell from Wyndham is a senior. Also Melissa Hyatt out of St. Thomas. Emma Boyd out of Wyndham, a senior. Hannah Ellis out of St. Thomas as well. Emily Benz out of Hollis Brookline. Elizabeth McGurk. And she is out of Mascenic Regional. And Corey Shaw out of Portsmouth. And Elizabeth Abbott here from Pembroke. So Courtney Hawkins in the lead. Elizabeth Danis right behind her. So Milford and Co-Brown in the 1-2 spot right now here in the girls 3,000 meter run. And Courtney Hawkins, again, the defending Division II state champ here in this girls 3,000 meter run, as she is currently in the lead. And 1-2 in the qualifiers, now 1-2 in this race. Hawkins and Danis. Hawkins is a senior and Danis is a freshman. And as a sophomore, Courtney Hawkins excelled in both the 3,000 meter and the 1,000 meter run. She finished second in the 3,000 at the Nashua North Invitational and won the Division II state championship. So it is Hawkins, Danis, Leskowski, and Farrell in the top 4 spots here in this girls 3,000 meter run. We'll have the boys 3,000 meter coming up after this. A full day of indoor track and field championships. And so glad you could join us here at Leverone Fieldhouse. John Lawrence, Ben Sackett. There, Courtney Hawkins, who also ended her season as a freshman with a 9th place finish in the mile race at the New Englands, which was tops for the state of New Hampshire. And she is still currently in the lead here for Milford. With a qualifying time of 10:22.5. I would imagine, Ben, that that experience of being a senior out there really gives you a real leg up, so to speak, when you're trying to pace yourself here in this 3,000 meter run. And Courtney Hawkins doing that right now, still with the lead in this race.
Yeah, you're right. I definitely think experience is a factor in these long distance races. I mean, I think that's how you get to become a long distance runner. You know, you do it a few times, you do it a few thousand times, and you get to know the different paces of each lap, what to do when there's inexperienced runners around you. It all comes into play.
And it's part of knowing your own body as well and what you have left in the tank. And we see the two freshmen from Co-Brown, Elizabeth Dennis and Brooke Leskowski, in the number 2 and number 3 spots, just behind Courtney Hawkins. And now Brooke Leskowski falling behind the pack a little bit, but still 1 and 2 are Courtney Hawkins and Elizabeth Dennis. Here in this girls' 3,000 meter run, Amy Rustin with a state record of 9:59.34. You see the two front runners here. And now Hawkins and Dennis coming up along the trailers. And it's still in those top 2 spots. Been impressed with the freshman Dennis and how she's been able to keep up with the senior here.
Well, once Hawkins is gone after this year, the Division II 3,000 meter run competition has a lot to look forward to here.
Looks like
I guess not look forward to, with the 2 Co-Brown freshmen going against you for the next 3 years after this meet.
And you think about, you see how impressive they have run this race and what they can look forward to as sophomores and juniors and seniors. Courtney Hawkins still with the lead, but Elizabeth Dennis not too far behind. It's really a race between those two right now. As a freshman, Courtney Hawkins placed 3rd at the Dartmouth Relays. But as a senior looking to defend her title in the girls' 3,000 meter run. And she looks like she's well on her way to doing just that. Brooke Leskowski back in 3rd. Kate Farrell out of Wyndham back in the 4th spot. And Melissa Hyatt currently in 5th.
Hawkins is extending her lead now. Looking quite comfortable.
She's got a good pace going right now, and again, it's knowing your body and knowing the terrain and knowing the type of race you're running. And she's got a lot of experience in this 3,000 meter run.
Nice controlled climate, unlike outside.
Now you see Hawkins look behind her just a little bit to see where the competition is. I imagine a little tough to distinguish sometimes, but the runners that they have passed. But there's Elizabeth Dennis, still in that number 2 spot, but about a half lap behind now. See if Courtney Hawkins can go for that Division II record.
I think she's starting to pick it up here, John. It's going to be close.
And she will not get the state record, but nonetheless, she is the winner. Courtney Hawkins, the defending Division II state champ in the girls 3,000 meter. And Courtney Hawkins out of Milford, the senior, ends her career at Milford with a win here this afternoon. I see the exhaustion on the face of Courtney Hawkins. And boy, you would never know it when she was running it. 10:28:20 is the time for Courtney Hawkins. And Elizabeth Danis coming in the number 2 spot, 10:44:35.
Quite a statement to go out in your final race. Win by 16 seconds. Well done.
Well, Melissa Hyatt coming in the number 3 spot with a time 11:13:22. And Brooke Laskowski was in the number 3 spot for quite a while during the race, but a freshman again, an impressive 4th place showing, 11:15:12. And next down the list, Emily Benz of Hollis Brookline, and she came in at 11:15:51. So now on to the boys 3,000 meter run. Which has a good field of athletes in it. Eli Moskowitz from Sauhegan, the sophomore, had the best qualifying run at 9:04.10. Cameron Barth with the second best qualifying time, 9:12.70. So you got Cameron Bath, Thomas Caulfield out of Oyster River, Ryan Hinrichs out of Sauhegan, Colby Clark out of Sant Banai, Jeremy Broussard out of Co-Brown, Colin Phillips out of Merrimack Valley, Josh Fontaine out of Lebanon. You got Drew Tuttle out of Prospect Mountain, Andy Kibben out of Goffstown, Neil Mistretta out of Oyster River, Cody Murphy and Jake Wormwald. Cody out of Johnstown and Jake Wormwald out of Pelham.
I got to take a second to thank our cameraman today, Jake Hill, who made surpassed the world record of standing up for the longest amount of time in one period.
And Jake has done an outstanding job today following the action. And as we are underway here in the boys 3,000 meter. And Eli Moskowitz out of Sauhegan looking to win this one with the best qualifying time by about 8 seconds. Colton Ham is the 2012 champion with a time of 9:07.30. The Division II record coming in 2008, a time of 8:46.73. That's an outstanding time. It's a full 21 seconds better than what the state championship provided last year. And the state record by Francis Hernandez in 2009, 8:42.52. Equally impressive. Top seeded 3,000 as well as the 1,500.
I wonder if it's because I have another headset going.
Oh, maybe. if you think it is, don't worry about it. I don't want to.
If it does it again.
Okay. And now it is the finals of the girls' 55-meter hurdles. And I apologize, can't hear the public address announcer enough to determine who is in which lane, but we do know that the top qualifier was Jenna Athanasopoulos of Monadnock. And we're assuming, since Michaela Athanasopoulos is her twin sister, that they are in lanes 3 and 4 in the green uniforms. So the two sisters, Jenna and Michaela Athanasopoulos, both seniors out of Monadnock, with best qualifying times in the first and second prelims in the girls' 55-meter hurdles. And we are underway here for the finals. And the two sisters in the lead, Jenna and Michaela Athanasopoulos. It has Athanasopoulos with a win, but we'll see who it is. Not familiar enough with the girls to be able to tell one from the other. Well, Athanasopoulos 1 and 2. Jenna and Michaela. And Melanie Subaya coming in at number 3. A little surprised on the board here that they don't have them differentiated between a J and a M. So we know it's going to be a good night for the Athanasopoulos sisters as they come in 1 and 2. And again, our apologies as to which one actually took the event, but nonetheless, I'm sure they'll be happy for one another. And this will be the 55-meter hurdle finals. Getting set to go. We'll take a quick break and be back on the NHIAA Division II Indoor Track and Field Championships. And we're back here, the NHIAA Division II Indoor Track and Field Championships, getting set for the boys' 55-meter hurdles. Again, not sure of the alignment here on who's in which track, but we do know that Patrick Fitzgerald was the top runner in the first prelim, and it was Ben DeForest in the second. And we'll see how both did here in this final of the boys' 55-meter hurdles, and it is Ben DeForest with the win. And DeForest coming in with a time of 7.78. And right after him was Patrick Fitzgerald. Again, the top two in the two prelims before at 8.02. And after that, Sutton, Bradbury, Coster from Pelham in the number 3 spot. So congratulations to Sauhegan's Ben DeForest, the winner in the boys' 55-meter hurdles. And coming up, we'll have the 55-meter dash finals, the girls and the boys. And I believe in the finals here, they will start off with the girls in the 55-meter dash. And we can tell you the top qualifier was Jelissa Nelson out of Co-Brown in the first prelim. And in the second, it was Michaela 7.51 out of Sauhegan. So we'll watch those two here in this race in the finals of the girls' 55-meter Fieldhouse. It's the NHIAA Division II Indoor Track and Field Championships as we're underway with the girls' 1,000-meter run as Megan Duty out of Oyster River, the freshman, is currently in the lead. Emma Newton out of Hollis Brookline, the junior, both with the two best qualifying times in this girls' 1,000-meter run. We apologize for some technical difficulties as the boys' 55-meter dash was won by Andrew Alicia. The second best time went to Brandon Dreyfus and Kenneth Dastus, or rather, my apologies, Tanner Kent coming in at number 3. So right now, Emma Newton taking the lead over Megan Duty. And Emma Newton, one of the favorites. Caitlin Terry in the number 3 spot in the race. Emma Newton, one of the favorites in this particular event. As a sophomore, she was part of that illustrious 4x800 team and really shined in the 1,000 with a third place finish and a fourth place in the 1,500. So the battle continues as now taking the lead, Megan Duty. Very similar uniforms with Oyster River and Hollis Brookline, and Megan Duty in the lead. Again, Emma Newton from Hollis Brookline right behind in the number 2 spot. And now Megan Duty opening up the lead a little bit here on Emma Newton. In the girls' 1,000 meter, which comes to a conclusion, and Megan Duty with a time of 3:04:37 wins the girls' 1,000 meter. Emma Newton, who came in with the second best qualifying time, takes the number 2 spot with a time of 3:06:05. And Caitlin Terry, who came in with the 8th best qualifying time from Co Brown. And Caitlin Terry, a senior, coming in the number 3 spot. So congratulations to all of them, and Megan Duty again in the girls' 1,000 meter. And we move on to the boys' 1,000 meter run. Joseph Bowles out of Belmont, a junior. We've got Sean Muddley from Campbell. He's a sophomore. Nathan Kidridge. And Nathan is a senior from Sauhegan. Came in with the 3rd best qualifying time. Ben Finnegan out of St. Thomas. Wesley Hutton out of Oyster River. Brady Camplin out of Sauhegan. Christian Parento out of Hollis Brookline. Brandon Hannon out of Pelham. The 8th best qualifying time, Henry Wager out of Portsmouth. Also John Brown out of Sanborn. Bern Cronin out of Trinity, a junior, and Jack Dewsnap out of Portsmouth, a sophomore, will be lining up ready to go here in the boys' 1,000 meter run. The champ last year was Jonathan Vinterberg, a 2012 champ at a time of 2:32:40. And underway in the boys' 1,000 meter. Nate Kittredge, one of the favorites from Sauhegan in this race. Rather, Nathan Kittredge, I should say. And Nate had a 3rd best qualifying time of 2:38.90. And the state record set back in 1994 here in the boys' 1,000 meter run by Zachary Wright with a state record of 2:27.38. And Nathan Kittredge from Sauhegan in that top spot in the boys' 1,000 meter run. Nathan Kittredge out of Sauhegan, the senior, in the lead here in the boys' 1,000-meter run. And in the second spot, it is Christian Parento out of Hollis Brookline. So it's Kittredge and Parento, 1 and 2 in this race. And Kittredge rounding the outside corner. Still with a lead, but Christian Parento closing the gap. Christian Parento making a run to the outside. Ben Finnegan in the number 4 spot, but it is Parento in the lead. Big race to the finish. Christian Parento in the lead. And Christian Parento comes across in the boys' 1,000-meter run. My apologies, that was Joseph Bowles out of Belmont. And Joseph Bowles wins it in the 1,000-meter run. Again, my apologies. Number 1 looked like number 7 out there for Christian Parento. So it is Joseph Bowles who had the best qualifying time. He wins the 1,000-meter run with a time of 2:37.38. And we'll take a break and be back. This is the NHIAA Division II Indoor Track and Field Championships. Again. Yeah. And we're back with the girls' 600-meter run as Sarah Hurd out of Sauhegan in the lead. But Lexi Lewis of Wyndham coming around the outside. It is Sarah Hurd. Lexi Lewis in the number 2 spot. Lexi out of Wyndham, and Miranda Couture out of Milford, who is a sophomore in the number 3 spot right now. And Sarah Hurd falling behind to the number 2 spot now. Again, the 600-meter run, Aiden Bardos, the champ last year, at a time of 1:39.81. And in the girls' 600-meter run, it was Haley Garrett out of Bow with the best time at 1:46.20. And it was Sarah Hurd from Sauhegan just behind at 1:46.91. And Nora Scanlon out of Bow at 1:47.15. And Milford's Miranda Couture slipping down to number 4. And that was the girls' 600-meter run. And again, Haley Garrett out of Bow, winning the first of two. The second leg coming up. Charlie Prevost on the outside lane. Megan Philpott from Hollis Brookline. And then it is Aiden Bardos. Aiden Bardos out of Hanover in the early lead. Now slips back to number 2. The second of the two finals here in the 600-meter run. And coming around is Cassidy Valinsky in the top spot. And Aiden Bardos in the number 2 spot. Charlie Prevost in number 3. So Cassidy Valinsky out of Portsmouth. Aiden Bardos out of Hanover. And Charlie Prevost out of Portsmouth. And Aiden Bardos takes the lead here in the second run of the 600-meter run on the girls' side. And Cassidy Valinsky at number 2. Charlie Prevost in that number 3 spot. And the second leg of the girls' 600-meter run will get the times. As Hanover's Aiden Bardos with a time of 1:39.85. Coming in second, it was Kristen Tilley with a time of 1:41.79. And from Hollis Brookline, it was Megan Philpott with a time of 1:43.99. So is Haley Garrett and Aiden Bardos in the 600-meter run. Now we'll get underway with the boys' 600-meter run. The state title, or the state championship record, set in 2003 by Russell Brown, a time of 1:19.41. On the outside lane, it is Micah Peterson from Sanborn, Matt Belkick out of Monadnock. In the fourth lane, Ben Evans to start off, Evan O'Reilly out of Lebanon, Ian Truce of Portsmouth, and Jonathan Amaro out of Milford. The top qualifying time came from Evan O'Reilly from Lebanon with a time of 1:28.80. And this is the first of two in the 600-meter run on the boys' side. And a tight race here as they come around. Matt Belsick, Ben Evans, or Evan O'Reilly, and then Ben Evans. So Belsick out of Monadnock, O'Reilly out of Lebanon, and Evans from Bow in the top three spots. But again, a very tight race as they come around here in the boys' 600-meter and the final lap. And Matt Belsick and Evan O'Reilly racing it out here in the final lap here of the 600-meter run for the boys. Matt Belsick, O'Reilly, right down to the wire. And Belsick wins it from Monadnock with a time of 1:29.85. Evan O'Reilly at 1:30.24. And coming in third from Portsmouth was Ian Troost with a time of 1:32.36. The second section of the finals here will have William Harmon in lane 6 to start off from Raymond. Brendan Palachronopoulos out of Merrimack Valley in lane 5 to start off from Sauhegan. Sam Ballard in lane 4. Jacob Kittredge, the brother of Nathan Kittredge from Sauhegan, in lane 3. It'll be Caleb Loisel out of Fall Mountain in lane 2 and Ben Platt in lane number 1. And the best qualifying time coming from Jacob Kittredge. Watch for him in lane 3 from Sauhegan. Taking on two of his teammates, Ben Platt, a sophomore, and Sam Ballard. So 3 Sabres in this next qualifier. And they are off in the second section here of the finals as William Harmon again on the outside lane, but Brendan Palachronopoulos rounding things in the first leg to take the lead. But now it is Jacob Kittredge from Sauhegan. But again, a tight race here in the second leg of the 600 meter. And it is Jacob Kittredge, Sam Ballard, and Caleb Loisel. Jacob Kittredge with the best qualifying time, looking to keep the lead. And we go into the last lap here of the finals here of Section 2. Jacob Kittredge, Sam Ballard, and Caleb Loisel. 1, 2, and 3. It is the battle for Sauhegan. Jacob Kittredge, Sam Ballard, 1 and 2 in the 600 meter. And Jacob Kittredge with a time of 1:25.24. Sam Ballard, 1:25.77. And coming in third, Brendan Palachronopoulos out of Merrimack Valley. And the number 3 spot, just edging Caleb Loisel from Fall Mountain. 0.2 of a second in front of him. And that is the second leg of the 600 meter run here on the boys' side. We'll now turn our attention to the girls' 300 meter run. And we'll take a break here and be back. This is the NHIAA Division II Indoor Track and Field Championships. We'll be right back. Yeah? Is that what it was? That's when it would happen? Right. So it hasn't happened since then. Yeah. 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 God. Dude, thanks for your help, man. God, I can't see those numbers as I'm coming around trying to look down and up. And I know, I feel like I'm blind up here, like I'm looking and I can't focus in on the numbers as they're going by. So is this the 300 meter dash coming up? Oh. Nice. That's got to be the 300-meter dash. And we're back underway here at Leverone Fieldhouse. This is the girls' 300-meter dash. And the first of two finals. The top qualifying time coming from Victoria Flood from Hopkinton with a time of 43.90. Next best time was Lindsay White from Hanover. And Victoria Flood comes away with a win here in the 300-meter dash in the first of two with a time of 43.36. Lindsay White from Hanover, number 2 in the race, 43.82. And from Trinity, Nicole Aceta with a time of 43.92. Section 2 of the finals here coming up. Hannah Wood will be in lane 6. Katharia Tanya from Conant in lane 5. Michaela Athanasonopoulos in lane 4. Michelle Trombley from Goffstown in lane 3. Jessica Kraft in lane 2 from Milford. And Dominique Twombly out of Oyster River in lane 1. And Michaela Athanasopoulos, who was an earlier winner, and she went up against her sister. And she is one of the favorites here in this race as well. This should be a star-studded race here in this 300-meter dash. A short race, and we'll see if Jessica Kraft can do it. Athanasopoulos or Hannah Wood. And a good race here right down to the finish in the 300-meter dash. As it's going to be close. And it is Michelle Trombley of Goffstown, 41.80. And right behind, it was Katharia Tanya of Conant with a time of 41.86. So Michelle Trombley of Goffstown comes away with the best time in the second set of finals. Victoria Flood in the first set. And we'll move on now to the boys' 300-meter dash. In the first, it'll be Philip Caffrey in lane 6, Noah Schwagerl of St. Thomas in lane 5, Sean Munnelly in lane 4, Connor Harrison in lane 3 out of Bishop Brady, Anthony Toscano out of Co-Brown in lane 2, and Chandler Robinson in lane 1, also out of Bishop Brady. Ethan Druskett, the 2012 champ, with a time of 36.36. And that's the time to watch in this one. And Philip Caffrey with the early lead, but Noah Schwagerl coming around on the outside. Philip Caffrey, Noah Schwagerl in the 300-meter dash. And now Schwagerl takes over the lead from Caffrey. Sean Munnelly in the third spot. And the win comes for Noah Schwagerl of St. Thomas with a time of 38.18. Philip Caffrey, who started out at lane 6, 38.60. And then it was Anthony Toscano edging out Connor Harrison. So Noah Schwegerl out of St. Thomas with the top time. And he will move on. It's section 2 in lane number 6 will be Alex Tamalanis out of Milford. Sean Swist out of Portsmouth in lane 5. Tanner Kent in lane 4 from Sauhegan. Rob Mills in lane 3 from Plymouth Regional. Quentin Bazernicki out of Monadnock. And Corey Barrett out of Convow. Dominic Worsley with the state record back in 2005, a time of 35.02. Tamalanis and Swist on the outside lane, says Tamalanis with the lead, but Sean Swist catching up. Tanner Kent also making a run. And now it is Sean Swist. Tanner Kent, though, coming from the inside. Tanner Kent from Sauhegan in the 300-meter dash. And Tanner Kent will come away with a top time in the second section here of this 300-meter dash. And Tanner Kent with a time of 36.92. And Rob Mills from Plymouth Regional sneaking into that number 2 spot, 37.15. And for Portsmouth, Sean Swist coming in at number 3. Now there you have it, the 300-meter dash on the boys' side. And coming up, it's the 1,500-meter run here for the girls. Sure, yeah, that's great. Oh, Jesus. I'll probably need some help with this one. 12 girls out there. And we're back with the girls' 1,500-meter run. The 2012 champ was Hannah Zeltner with a time of 4:58.33. Some of the front runners to watch in this one: Emma Newton on the inside lane to start things off from Hollis Brookline. Had the best qualifying time of 4:46.91. Courtney Hawkins, another favorite in this one from Milford, the senior, at 4:47.70. And Elizabeth Dennis out of Co-Brown, Megan Duty. We saw both of them from Oyster River. Or one from Co-Brown, one from Oyster River. And right now, Newton, Hawkins, and Dennis in the lead. 1, 2, and 3 in the qualifiers. Emma Newton, a junior out of Hollis Brookline. Courtney Hawkins out of Milford, and Elizabeth Dennis, a freshman out of Co-Brown. Jessica Flynn with the state record back in 2003, a time of 4:37.92. And still Emma Newton, Courtney Hawkins, and Elizabeth Dennis in the top 3 spots as they come around lap number 2. Megan Duty, who had a fine run in an earlier race, a freshman from Oyster River. Matter of fact, 4 freshmen in this race here in the girls' 1,500 meter run. Now Courtney Hawkins has taken the lead. Emma Newton falling to second place, and Elizabeth Dennis in third. Courtney Hawkins, who won the 3,000, in the lead right now out of Milford, the senior. Emma Newton out of Hollis Brookline, number 2, and Elizabeth Dennis in that third spot. And Courtney Hawkins, who we mentioned some of her accolades. Having a fine race. Now Elizabeth Dennis taking over the number 2 spot over Emma Newton. The battle there for that number 2 spot between Dennis and Newton. And Courtney Hawkins still in the lead here in the 1,500 meter run. Courtney Hawkins, who had a time of 10:28:20 in the girls' 3,000 meter run, now trying her hand to try to win this one in the 1,500 meter. And Elizabeth Dennis from Co-Brown in second place. And we saw those two battle it out in the 3,000 meter run. They were neck and neck for quite a while. But then the experience of Courtney Hawkins took over. Emma Newton from Hollis Brookline in the third spot. Courtney Hawkins taking a peek behind to see where Elizabeth Dennis is. And Courtney Hawkins picking up the pace, putting some distance between her and Elizabeth Dennis. Again, takes another peek from behind here in the 1,500 meter run as we get set for the final lap. Courtney Hawkins looking to add to her accolades today, winning the 3,000 meter run, and now looking to take a win in the 1,500. Again, checks over the left shoulder. Courtney Hawkins, a huge lead in this one. Elizabeth Dennis second. Emma Newton in the third spot. Courtney Hawkins out of Milford is going to win the 1,500 meter run here in Division II of the state of New Hampshire. So congratulations, Courtney Hawkins. And you see the expression on her face and the joy in winning this. And Courtney Hawkins with a time of 4:57:36, which best the time of the champ last year, but about 20 seconds off the Division II state record. But Courtney Hawkins will take it a win in Division II here in the 1,500 meter run. Elizabeth Dennis, number 2, and sneaking into the third spot, Megan Duty out of Oyster River. And we'll get set here for the boys' 1,500 meter run in just a moment. This is the NHIAA Division II Track and Field Championships, and we'll return in just a moment. What's that?
I got Brassard again.
I'll go with Moskowitz. Yep. All right, Hinrichs did pretty well. Yeah, Hinrichs did pretty well in the last one, too, so.
Caulfield might win. I don't know.
So and we are back here with a boys 1,500-meter run. Eli Moskowitz with a top time in the qualifier, 4:08.60. Jeremy Brassard in that number 2 spot right now behind Moskowitz. And Alex Evans out of Bow in the number 3 spot right now. And Teddy Bissett in the lead right now from Lebanon. And Jeremy Brassard and Alex Evans at number 2 and 3 in the race. So Teddy Bissett, who had the 5th best qualifying time, and Jeremy Brassard and Alex Evans in the number 2 and 3 spots. Eli Moskowitz in the 5th spot right now. Ryan Hinrichs in that number 4 spot. It's the boys' 1,500-meter run. And Teddy Bissett out of Lebanon, the junior, with a qualifying time of 4:20.40, still in the lead. Jeremy Brassard, number 2. And Alex Evans in that 3rd spot. Best time in the state championships here in Division II, 3 minutes 58 seconds by John Schroeder back in 2006. Now Alex Evans in the lead. Jeremy Brassard in the number 2 spot. Alex Evans, a senior from Bow. It'd be a nice way to round out his career at Bow. 2nd best qualifying time. Jeremy Brassard in that number 2 spot. And Teddy Bissett falling to number 3. Evans, Brassard, and Moskowitz. Now 1, 2, and 3 in this race. Alex Evans and Jeremy Brassard. And they enter the final lap here of the boys' 1,500-meter race, and Jeremy Brassard, as we saw him in an earlier race, starting to pour it on, pulling away from Alex Evans, or rather, and Jeremy Brassard, Eli Moskowitz. But it looks like Moskowitz won't have enough, and Jeremy Brassard will win it from Co Brown in the boys' 1,500-meter run. And Jeremy Broussard with a time of 4:14.16. Eli Moskowitz just behind at 4:15. And Alex Evans, who had a lead in the race for a time, falls to number 3 at 4:16.92. So Jeremy Broussard of Co Brown, congratulations, the winner in the boys 1,500-meter run. And we will move on to the relays coming up, and we'll take a break and be back here from the Leverone Fieldhouse here at Dartmouth College. We'll be back in just a moment. Green. That helps. That helps a lot. That does help. Man, And we are back here. This is the girls 4x400 meter relay. And Kennett, Lebanon, Raymond, and Hopkinton in this first leg of 4. And again, very important that you get a good handoff in this, as Lebanon currently with a lead. Hopkinton in the second spot. And Raymond in that third spot. Although some movement here now, is it looks as if Raymond has taken over the lead. Hopkinton second. And Lebanon in the maroon colors in the third spot. And a bit of a slow handoff between both the Raymond teammates and Hopkinton. And that will allow Lebanon to make a run, and that's exactly what they're doing. Lebanon with a nice run on the outside. So again, a more crisp handoff with Lebanon High School, and Lebanon with the lead. Although Raymond now not too far behind, gaining ground. Hopkinton in the third spot. And Kennett in black in the fourth spot. Although Kennett starting to make a run. But still in the lead, it is Lebanon. Kennett is now gotten into the third spot. So Lebanon, Raymond in the 1-2 spot here in the 4x400 meter relay. And a solid handoff by Lebanon. And a solid handoff too by Raymond. And again, Kennett, who was in that fourth spot, is now at number 3. Hanover is the defending Division II state champs in this particular event, with a time of 4:16.11 last year. And again, Lebanon with a more sizable lead now. Coming around the near side corner. And Kennett looking to make a move to overtake Raymond for that number 2 spot. But again, a nice lead here for Lebanon. And we'll see how the handoff goes here. And now a sizable lead here for Lebanon, as bursting out of the gate. We'll see if the Lebanon runner here will pace herself a little bit more, but extending that lead as Raymond now looks to put a charge on. And the final lap here is Lebanon High School. We'll look to hold on and take this section 1 of 4. Raymond in second, Kennett in third, and Hopkinton in fourth. As Lebanon High School will win this section of the girls 4x400 meter relay. And we'll get the final times here in just a moment. The last leg there for Lebanon started out with a burst of energy and a time of 4:36.55. About 5 seconds behind Raymond at 4:41.72 and Hopkinton at 4:45.83. And Kennett coming in that fourth spot. Section 2 here coming up. It'll be Bow in lane 5, Souhegan in lane 4, Goffstown in lane 3, and St. Thomas in lane 2. Top qualifying time was Goffstown with a time of 4:29.50. And getting set for the section 2 of the 4 finals. As Souhegan takes an early lead in this one. Goffstown on the outside in red. And St. Thomas in that number 4 spot. So it is Souhegan and Goffstown. Goffstown taking the early lead in this one. Hanover, the defending Division II state champs, will see them in Section 4 of these finals, but Goffstown with a nice lead on this one. Souhegan, number 2. And Bow and St. Thomas battling for that number 3 spot. And the handoff by Goffstown not quite as smooth as the handoff by Souhegan, and allow Souhegan to try to make up some ground here in this one. Nice race with this particular leg of the journey. As Bow now with the lead. And the 4th best qualifying time amongst these 4 schools. And again, Bow with the lead here in this 4x400 meter relay. Goffstown in the number 3 spot. Souhegan at number 2. Bow, Souhegan, and Goffstown. St. Thomas in the 4th spot. This leg of the relay, Bow has really done a terrific job, although not the best handoff there. We'll see if it doesn't cost Bow in this. Souhegan and Goffstown, number 2 and 3. Goffstown making a run, though, to the outside. And Goffstown in the number 2 spot now. And the final lap. And Goffstown making a run to the outside. And with a burst of speed, overtakes Bow. And we'll see if that burst of energy, if she can sustain it down the stretch here in the 4x400 meter relay. And Goffstown will come across first. And we'll see the times. 4:20.77 for Goffstown. And number 2 was Bow, 4:21.76. And St. Thomas getting ahead of Souhegan in that number 3 spot. So section 3 here coming up. It'll be Wyndham on the outside lane, lane 5. Co Brown in lane 4. Oyster River in lane 3. And Pelham in lane 2. Here in section 3 of the 4 finals. Again, Wyndham there in the white with a big W on the chest. On the outside lane, Co Brown in red. Oyster River in the blue. And Pelham with the white and blue. And Co Brown takes the lead over Wyndham. Oyster River and Pelham at 3 and 4. Early on in this 4x400 meter relay. Co Brown along with Hanover, 2 of the favorites in this particular event. And a big race now for that number 2 spot. As Oyster River in the number 2 spot behind Co Brown, looking to make a run at the leader. Wyndham at number 3 and Pelham at number 4. And the handoff for Oyster River a little bit better, and they take the lead over Co Brown. Wyndham in the 3 spot. And Pelham at number 4. It's a battle between Oyster River and Co Brown. Getting that last handoff, a good one for Oyster River. That allowed them to take the lead. We'll see if they can maintain it as they come around near side. Oyster River runner getting some encouragement from the sideline. She opens up the lead a bit on Co Brown. And a tough handoff for Co Brown. We'll see if they can make up the time as Oyster River with the lead. Wyndham in the number 3 spot. Pelham number 4. Again, one tough handoff for Co Brown may cost them in this one. as Oyster River rounds the bend here in first place. Co-Brown 2, Wyndham 3, and Pelham 4. Getting the cheering section right off there for Oyster River. As Oyster River had the best qualifying time among these four teams at 4:25.70. Now we'll see if they can equal it. They're looking good right now. And Oyster River with a huge lead now. Boy, when you have to expend that much energy to try to narrow a lead, that will take its toll. And the final lap here in section 3 of this girls 4x400 meter relay. And Oyster River in the lead. Co-Brown 2, Pelham, and Wyndham battling it out for that 3 spot. But Oyster River will win it. And they will finish first in section 3 of the 4 finals. Oyster River, Co-Brown second. Wyndham will come in third, and Pelham at number 4. And Oyster River with a time of 4:14.07. And Co-Brown 4:20.52. So we move now to the section 4 of these finals in the girls 4x400 meter relay. And it will be Monadnock in lane number 5, Milford in lane 4. Portsmouth in lane 3, and Hanover in lane 2. And Monadnock with an early lead here in the 4th section here of the 4x400 meter relay. But a tight race as Hanover looks to take the lead. Now it is Portsmouth trading places here with Milford. And Hanover with the lead, followed by Portsmouth and then Milford. And a better handoff for Portsmouth. And it's a battle now between Portsmouth and Hanover. And Portsmouth on the inside with a slight edge. And again, a battle here with Portsmouth and Hanover. And Hanover takes the lead. Monadnock in the 4th spot. Milford at number 3. And Portsmouth. And both a couple of solid handoffs As Hanover with the lead, it's Portsmouth number 2 and Milford number 3. In this fourth relay of the girls 4x400 meter relay. Hanover still with the lead. Milford number 2. Portsmouth now drops back to 3. Hanover able to maintain the lead. And a solid handoff by Hanover. And they've opened up the lead on Portsmouth. And Hanover, the defending Division II state champs in this race, with a sizable lead now over Portsmouth. We'll see if Portsmouth can narrow the gap in the final lane, or rather the final lap of this 4x400 meter relay. Hanover, Portsmouth. Followed by Milford and Monadnock. And Hanover on their way to finishing first in this Section 4 final in the 4x400 meter relay. So congratulations for Hanover in finishing first with a time of 4:11.72. Portsmouth second at 4:16.46. And Monadnock coming in at number 3, just edging out Milford. And there you have it, the 4x400 meter relay. We'll get set for the next event, which is the boys 4x400 meter relay. And we'll take a quick break and be back right after this. I don't know why I keep saying right after this, there's no commercials, but just force of habit. You're like, right after what? Yeah. It's a moment of silence. And we're back with Section 1 of the 4 finals here between Sanborn, Wyndham, Prospect Mountains, and Pelham in the 4x400 meter relay here on the boys' side. So Sanborn with the early lead. Pelham in the 2 spot, and Wyndham at number 3. Wyndham now into the number 2 spot, and Sanborn still in the lead. And Prospect Mountains now into that number 3 spot. And Pelham at number 4. The first of 4 in the 4x400 meter relay. So Prospect Mountains at number 2. Sanborn still with the lead. Wyndham, though, making a charge on the outside. And Wyndham with a nice charge, and Sanborn losing a bit of steam, and Wyndham will take the lead. So Wyndham with a qualifying time of 3 minutes 52 and a half seconds in the lead right now. And Pelham on the outside, rather on the inside, making a move. And Sanborn now on the outside. Nice handoff by Sanborn and Wyndham. As Sanborn now takes the lead. Wyndham number 2, Pelham number 3, and Prospect Mountains number 4. Here's the final lap. As Pelham making a move on the outside, but Sanborn still in the lead. Pelham and Wyndham battling it out for that 2 spot as Pelham overtakes Wyndham. But Sanborn still holding on here at the end. And Sanborn will come across the finish line first. And they come across with a time of 3:48.46. Pelham number 2 with a time of 3:49.52. And next up, section 2 of these 4 finals, as Raymond will be on the outside lane, the 5th lane, Hanover in the 4th, Merrimack Valley in lane number 3, and St. Thomas in lane number 2. And St. Thomas on the inside, taking an early lead. Merrimack Valley, who had an early lead, falls back to number 3. It is St. Thomas. Merrimack Valley number 2 and Raymond number 3. St. Thomas still with the lead. Merrimack Valley right there too. And Merrimack Valley now sprints ahead with the lead. St. Thomas in the 2 spot. There's Merrimack Valley, St. Thomas. Raymond in the number 3 spot, and Hanover number 4. It's the boys 4x400 meter relay. Nice handoff there by Merrimack Valley. Still with the lead. St. Thomas at number 2, and Merrimack Valley opening up the lead here. St. Thomas looking to make a charge. Hanover and Raymond at number 3 and 4. Merrimack Valley again, still with the lead. A big lead now over St. Thomas. Merrimack Valley in the light green uniforms, St. Thomas in blue and white. We'll see how this handoff goes. The last was a good one for Merrimack Valley. And this one a good one as well. Merrimack Valley still in the top spot. St. Thomas number 2. Raymond 3 and Hanover number 4. And the final lap of the race with Merrimack Valley. Teammate encouraging. St. Thomas at number 2, but Merrimack Valley will get the top time in this second leg of the 4x400 meter relay. And Merrimack Valley with a time of 3:41.62. St. Thomas number 2 at 3:48.34, and Raymond and Hanover rounding out the top 4. Now section 3 of the tournament. Milford in the outside lane. In lane 5, Oyster River lane 4, Hopkinton in lane 3, and Portsmouth in lane 2. And underway in section 3 of the 4 finals here is Milford with an early lead, but Oyster River. Now Portsmouth in the inner lane trying to overtake Oyster River here in this 4x400 meter relay. It is Milford. In the top spot, followed by Portsmouth. Oyster River, Portsmouth, and Milford. 1, 2, and 3 in this race. Oyster River with a slight lead over Portsmouth. Hopkinton in 4th place, but Oyster River maintains the lead, but Portsmouth right behind here in the 4x400 meter. Milford in the 3 spot. Now it is Portsmouth on the outside, overtaking Oyster River. And the handoff a bit better for Portsmouth. And Portsmouth with a lead. Oyster River in the number 2 spot. Milford number 3, and Hopkinton number 4. Portsmouth extending their lead. Oyster River gaining a little bit of ground, but Portsmouth still with a lead. Handoff a little slow by Portsmouth. And Oyster River with a good handoff, and we'll see if Portsmouth can maintain the lead here. Milford at number 3, Hopkinton number 4. But Oyster River within striking distance of Portsmouth here as we enter the final lap. This is going to be a good race. Portsmouth, Oyster River. Oyster River making a move on the outside. Can Portsmouth keep up the lead? And Portsmouth turning it on here at the end. And Portsmouth will win in this third of 4 finals. The Oyster River just not enough at the end to make up the ground. Portsmouth with a time of 3:39.75. And Oyster River at 3:41. Milford at 3:44. So now on to section 4 of the finals here. It'll be Coe-Brown in lane number 5, Monadnock in lane 4, Souhegan in lane 3, and Lebanon in lane 2. Coe-Brown in red in the outside lane as we get set for section 4 of this 4x400 meter relay. Monadnock in green and black. Souhegan in their black and white. And Lebanon right now in that 4th spot. And Coe-Brown actually falls into the 4th spot right now. And taking the lead is Souhegan. Souhegan with a nice handoff. Monadnock in number 2. Lebanon 3. And Nathan Kittredge, we believe, is the runner right now for Souhegan. And he has got the lead. Monadnock at number 2, Coe-Brown 3, Lebanon at 4. The 4x400 meter relay. And this is the 4th race as Souhegan, another nice handoff. A battle between Monadnock and Coe-Brown for that number 2 spot. But Souhegan still with the lead here in the 4x400 meter relay. We're in Leverone at Fieldhouse here at Dartmouth College. And again, thanks to all the folks here who made this day possible and all the great athletes who have performed so admirably here today. Sauhegan in the lead, Co-Brown 2, Monadnock at 3. Lebanon trailing far behind at number 4. And Sauhegan, another nice handoff. Monadnock, their handoff solid, and Co-Brown, number 3. And Co-Brown making a move on Monadnock on the outside to get to that number 2 spot. Sauhegan 1, Co-Brown 2, Monadnock 3. As we head into the final lap, here are the 4x400 meter relay. Sauhegan, Co-Brown, Monadnock. And Sauhegan will win this leg of the 4x400 meter relay. An impressive run for the Sabres. With a time of 3:35.47. Co-Brown at 3:42.07. Coming in at number 2. Monadnock at 3:49.06 and Lebanon at number 4. So that finishes up the 4x400 meter relay on the boys' side. And we move now to the 4x200 meter relay on the girls' side. So this will be split up here between 4 different units as well. In the first, it'll be Hollis Brookline on the outside lane, lane 5. It'll be Newmarket in lane number 4. Lebanon in lane 3, and St. Thomas in lane number 2. This is the girls 4x200 meter relay. Hanover, the defending champ in this category as well. Last year with a time of 1 minute 50 seconds. And the state record coming from Lebanon back in 2010, 145.99. So again, Hollis Brookline in lane 5, Newmarket lane 4, Lebanon lane 3, and St. Thomas in lane number 2. Best qualifying time coming from Lebanon, 1:33.6. And trailed closely behind by Newmarket with a time of 1:33.8. The 4x200 meter relay. Section 1 of 4. Ready to go underway. And Hollis Brookline on the outside. Newmarket in the bright red, Lebanon in the maroon. St. Thomas in the blue and white. As Lebanon with an early lead. Followed by Hollis Brookline, St. Thomas, and Newmarket in the number 4 spot. First handoff coming here for Lebanon. A little tricky handoff for Hollis Brookline as they are now in the number 3 spot. St. Thomas in number 2 and Newmarket in the number 4 position. Hanover are the defending state champs, but Lebanon has got the overall state record as the third handoff here for Lebanon High School. St. Thomas in that number 2 spot. Brookline 3, and making a charge is Newmarket in the number 4 position. Lebanon with still a healthy lead in this one. And the 4x200 meter relay. And Lebanon High School comes away with a top spot with a time of 1:54.98. St. Thomas at number 2, 1:57.31. And Newmarket and Hollis Brookline, 3 and 4. Coming up next, section 2 of the 4 finals. Sauhegan in lane 5. It'll be Wyndham in lane 4, Goffstown lane 3, and Trinity in lane 2. Best qualifying time is Goffstown at 1:31 even in this 4x200 meter relay. And Lebanon taking the top spot in the first section. It's the Division II Indoor Track and Field Championships, courtesy of the NHIAA. I want to thank the folks with the Athletic Association in the state of New Hampshire for having us down here today. And it's been a fine day of competition with some incredible athletes here in the state of New Hampshire. Sauhegan on the outside lane, lane 5. Wyndham in white with a big W. Goffstown in the red, and Trinity in the blue. And Sauhegan with an early lead. And Wyndham. And now Goffstown in the number 2 spot. And Sauhegan in the number 3 position. Sauhegan making a run as Wyndham still in the top spot. Goffstown number 3, Trinity number 4. It's a battle here between Wyndham and Sauhegan. In the second section here of the 4x200 meter relay. And Wyndham off a nice handoff, able to take the lead. Now Goffstown making a move on Sauhegan. Wyndham still with a lead, but Goffstown making a run. And this will be even here between these two, but Wyndham with a slight edge. Sauhegan, though, with a nice handoff. They'll look to make a run on the outside. It's a three-way battle. Wyndham, Goffstown, Sauhegan. Goffstown making a run on the outside. And Goffstown comes away with a victory here in Section 2 of the 4 finals on a nice run down the stretch. And Goffstown with We'll see their time here in just a moment. But Goffstown comes away with a victory. 154.94. Wyndham number 2 at 155.08. And Sauhegan and Trinity coming in at number 3 and 4. Up next, section 3 of the 4 finals. Here on the girls' side, the 4x200 meters. It'll be Monadnock on the outside lane, lane 5. Kennett in lane 4. It'll be Oyster River in lane 3 and Merrimack Valley in lane number 2. Athletes get set here in section 3 of 4. Goffstown and Lebanon, the winners in the first 2. You see Monadnock in their green uniform. Kennett dressed in black. Oyster River in the blue and white. And Merrimack Valley in the green tinged uniforms. Best qualifying time came in this one from a tie between Kennett and Oyster River at 1:30.6. We'll see how they fare here in section 3 of the finals. Of the 4x200 meter relay. And Kennett and Monadnock. And now it is Merrimack Valley on the inside. And a handoff, good one for Merrimack Valley. Oyster River at number 2. Kennett at 3 and Monadnock at number 4. Nice handoff there for Oyster River. Now Kennett making a move on the outside. Monadnock in the number 4 spot. But again, Kennett overtaking Oyster River. Merrimack Valley still holding on to the lead here. Merrimack Valley, Oyster River. And Kennett, 1, 2, 3. Now Oyster River making a move on the outside. Oyster River down the stretch. And Oyster River comes away with a victory here in section 3 of the 4 finals. So Merrimack Valley with a lead for most of the race, but Oyster River with a time of 1:53.84. Merrimack Valley at number 2, Kennett and Monadnock rounding out the top 4. And section 4 here of the finals. It'll be Milford in lane number 5, Hanover in lane 4, Portsmouth in lane 3, and Co-Brown in lane 2. As this the final stretch of the 4x200 meter relay. We'll have the boys 4x200 and 4 different sections of that coming up as well. Again, Milford in the outside lane. The 4x200 meter relay. And Milford with an early lead, but Hanover bolts out to the lead. Hanover with Co Brown right on the inside. And the first handoff, a good one. Co Brown and Hanover. Co Brown with the lead. Now Hanover on the outside. Portsmouth at number 3. Hanover continues with a lead. Portsmouth on the outside. Looking to overtake Co Brown. Milford at number 4. It's Hanover and Portsmouth, 1 and 2. And Hanover now opens up a bit of a lead. Co Brown 2. Portsmouth and Milford 3 and 4. Hanover down the stretch. And the final handoff. Hanover and Co Brown. This is going to be a battle. Portsmouth drop into 4th. Hanover still. Co Brown number 2. And Hanover finishes first with a time of 1:50.88. Co Brown number 2 at 1:51.82, and Milford coming in at 3, and Portsmouth in the number 4 slot. So we'll get set here for the boys 4x200 meter relay. Again, the winners in those first 4 legs of the 4x200 meter relay on the girls' side, it was Lebanon, Goffstown, Oyster River, and Hanover. And in the 5th lane will be Hopkinton. In lane number 4, it will be Sanborn. Goffstown in lane 3, and Raymond in lane number 2. So again, the first of 4 here, the final events in Division 2, the boys 4x200 meter relay. And getting set here for the first of 4. In the 4x200 meter relay. And Hopkinton in the outside lane, Sanborn in the inner lane, Goffstown in red, and Raymond in the dark green. And Sanborn takes the early lead. It is Goffstown and Hopkinton behind, and now Goffstown in the number 1 spot. As the first handoff, and Goffstown with the lead. Sanborn at number 2. Hopkinton and Raymond in that 3rd and 4th spot. Goffstown still with the lead, but Hopkinton making a move. And a good handoff And Goffstown takes the lead again on Hopkinton. The first leg of the 4x200 meter relay. Goffstown, Hopkinton, Sanborn, and Raymond. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Goffstown with a nice run. Hopkinton, number 2. Around the far bend. And Goffstown comes away with a victory here in leg number 1 of the 4x200 meter relay. And Goffstown with a time of 1:42.37. Hopkinton second. Raymond and Sanborn Regional 3 and 4. Section 2 here coming up. Kearsarge on the outer lane, lane 5. Pembroke in lane 4. Wyndham will take up lane 3 and Milford in lane 2. So 3 more sections to go here in the 4x200 meter relay. Kearsarge in the blue. Pembroke in the green and white. Wyndham in the white with the W on the front. And Milford in that inner number 2 lane. All the participants warming up, ready to go. And Wyndham with the best qualifying time as we are underway. Pembroke on the inside, looking to take an early lead. Wyndham in lane 3. Nice first handoff. As Milford and Wyndham now takes the lead. Pembroke in number 3. A battle between Wyndham and Milford. Wyndham maintaining the lead as Pembroke in the number 3 spot. Kearsarge number 4. It's Wyndham and Milford. And the handoff a little bit smoother for Milford. This will be a race to the finish, I think, unless Wyndham can break away. Wyndham with a lead around the bend, but Milford right behind. We'll see who's got enough here at the end. Wyndham, Milford, right down to the end. And Milford will take it. Terrific last burst of energy there by Milford. And they take section 2 of the 4 finals with a time of 140.14. Wyndham just behind at 140.28. Kearsarge and Pembroke rounding out the 3 and 4 spots. Now on to section 3 of the 4 finals. It'll be Sauhegan on the outer lane, lane 5. Hollis Brookline in blue and white in lane number 4. Bishop Brady in lane number 3. And it will be Monadnock in lane number 2 here in this 4x200 meter relay. And we'll have one final section, including Lebanon, Portsmouth, Merrimack Valley, and Hanover. But here we go in section 3 of 4 in the 4x200 meter relay. And just 3 racing teams here as Sauhegan with an early lead. Monadnock not part of the 3rd sectional round here. As Bishop Brady with an early lead. Hollis Brookline number 2, Sauhegan number 3. Hollis Brookline closing the gap a bit. A tough handoff for Sauhegan. Bishop Brady and Hollis Brookline. And Hollis Brookline takes the lead over Bishop Brady. And a tough handoff there for Hollis Brookline. We'll see if Bishop Brady can close the gap. Sauhegan making a run too. But Hollis Brookline with the lead. Bishop Brady 2, Sauhegan 3. But Hollis Brookline will take the top spot. Bishop Brady 2 and Sauhegan in the 3rd spot. And Hollis Brookline with a time of 1:39.32. And Bishop Brady with a time of 1:40.08. And on to section 4. The final race of the afternoon. As Hanover will be in lane number 5. Merrimack Valley in lane 4. Portsmouth in lane number 3. And Lebanon in lane 2. So in the boys 4x200 meter relay, it was Goffstown in the first section, Milford in section 2, and Hollis Brookline in section 3. Portsmouth with the best qualifying time heading into this last sectional race. The final event of the day, the boys 4x200 meter relay. And Hanover with the early lead. Portsmouth, though, trying to make a run on the inside. Merrimack Valley in the number 2 spot, but it's still Hanover. Merrimack Valley closing in, trying to take the lead, and Merrimack Valley does. And the handoff, a tough one for Merrimack Valley, is Hanover able to take the lead. Lebanon in the number 3 spot. And a nice handoff here as Hanover around at the turn. Portsmouth in the number 3 spot. And Portsmouth starting to put on a run on the outside. And Portsmouth with a good handoff against Lebanon. It's Portsmouth and Lebanon. Portsmouth with the lead. Coming down the home stretch, it's Portsmouth. Lebanon number 2. But Portsmouth runs away with it, and Portsmouth will win it here in Section 4 of the boys 4x200 meter relay. And their time is 1:38.76 for Portsmouth. So the top times in each of the 4 sectionals, it was Goffstown, Milford, Hollis Brookline, and Portsmouth. And Portsmouth winning the final leg here in the boys 4x200 meter relay. So we saw some incredible performances this afternoon in Division 1 and Division 2. Courtney Hawkins, Ben DeForest, Michaela Athanasopoulos, and also some great team events down the stretch here. And a terrific overall tournament here as you see the boys' team scores. Sauhegan with a team score of 100. Portsmouth with 50. Merrimack Valley at 34 and Oyster River at 26. And again, a terrific tournament all the way around here. And kudos to all the athletes and again, all the families who have sacrificed throughout the years to make it to this level, and great that we could bring it to you here today. As again, we mentioned earlier on how a lot of the athletes, like football players and hockey players and basketball players, get a lot of the attention, and nice to see the track and field stars get some attention here today. It's the NHIAA Division II Indoor Track and Field Championship here at Leverone Fieldhouse at Dartmouth College. And that will wrap up our coverage. I want to say thanks to our cameraman Jake Hill and also Ben Sackett, our producer, and also with some color commentary here in the Division II races. I'm John Lawrence saying have a pleasant good evening again from Leverone Field here at Dartmouth College. And we'll see you next year here at Dartmouth. Have a great night, everybody.